Japón, buenos días y bienvenidos a este segundo día de las cuartas jornadas de ELE Manila. Ayer, en el primer día de las jornadas, tuvimos la suerte, ¿no?, de participar en varios seminarios muy interesantes, todos ellos, sobre cómo enseñar el vocabulario en nuestra clase de español. Aprendimos la importancia que tiene el vocabulario, nos enseñaron a estructurar nuestras clases, nuestras sesiones, nos dieron ideas sobre actividades que utilizar en clase, nos hablaron de la importancia que tienen las imágenes, las colocaciones, el repetir las palabras, traducir, y nos presentaron nuevos métodos y materiales para trabajar este tema en clase, ¿no? Para trabajar el vocabulario en clase. Y yo creo que hoy seremos igual de afortunados. En las próximas horas, nuestros ponentes, además de recordarnos conceptos claves sobre el aprendizaje vocabulario, ¿no?, para refrescar la memoria, también nos dirán cómo nuestros alumnos pueden aprender palabras, ¿no?, léxico, a través de la música, de la lectura, de la visualización de películas. También nos darán pistas de cómo romper el hielo en nuestra clase y cómo implementar, ¿no?, algo que es muy importante, que es el aprendizaje activo y colaborativo entre nuestros alumnos. Así que estoy convencido de que el día de hoy va a ser de vuestro interés y va a ser como mínimo tan magnífico como fue el de ayer. Eso sí, antes de empezar quería hacer unos cuantos recordatorios, ¿vale? Primero es que el último webinario del día es una sesión paralela, donde habrá 3 ponentes a la vez y, al igual que ayer, tenéis que elegir a qué charla queréis participar, ¿vale? Breakout rooms will be open, which will allow you to attend the webinar of your choice. This is in the last seminar, and there are 3 different seminars at the time. Topics will be posted again during the break, and also we will explain you again how to join each of the seminars. Después del último webinario, right after that breakout session, after the last seminar, please return to the main room because we have a raffle. In this raffle, you will have the chance to get a Spanish course in the Instituto Cervantes. So please attend there because, for example, yesterday the winner was not present. So we will have the raffle again from yesterday and from today. We will also give you an idea because we are also doing a logo contest. We want you to participate to create the next logo for the jornada. So we will also give you information about that. ¿Vale? Esto es para celebrar el 5º aniversario de las jornadas el próximo año. Details will be posted during the break, so don't leave. Also, please be reminded that in order to receive a certificate of participation, 8 out of 10 sessions must be attended. We will be posting an attendance link towards the end of each seminar. Please be advised that you cannot ask for the attendance link after the seminar is finished. Por último, kindly keep the jornadas a safe place for all of us. Please keep your video and audio off throughout the duration of the presentation. Be prudent in using the chat box and save all comments and questions for the 5 minutes moderated Q and answer that will be held at the end of each webinar. I now give the floor to Dr. Michael Sandino, Supervising Focal Person of the Special Program in Foreign Language Spanish of the DEPED, who will introduce our first speaker of the day. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Miguel. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to JORNADAS de ELE Manila. So our presenter for the JORNADAS. She's one of the pioneer teachers of the foreign language in the Philippines. She studied Spanish for 2 summers at the Instituto de Manila, passed the DELE for Diploma de Español como Lengua Extranjera, Level A2, written and oral proficiency exam in Spanish in 2014. After which, she received a short-term scholarship from Universidad Internacional Méndez Pelayo in Santander, Spain, that enabled her to learn more and become more proficient in the language. Meanwhile, she had presented 2 studies in regional and national research fora along Spanish grammar, where she received a recognition. Furthermore, she was a winning coach in the national Spanish competitions. She was also awarded the most outstanding master teacher in the division. And currently, she is a master teacher 1 and holds classes in Spanish and English at Cagayan High School in Davao City. Also, she is a regular part-time Spanish teacher at the University of Cagayan Valley. Earlier, she finished her postgraduate studies, Doctor of Philosophy in Education and Master of Arts in Education, outstanding, at the University of Cagayan Valley in Davao City, and her bachelor's degree in Education, major in Communication Arts at Cagayan State University, Davao City, as cum laude. To discuss el vocabulario en la clase de ELE, una aproximación. Let's all welcome Dr. GLORIA Marcos.
Déjame preguntarte, cuando viajas a un país extranjero, ¿qué llevas contigo? ¿Un diccionario o un libro de gramática? Estoy seguro de que ni siquiera lo pensarás mucho. Definitivamente tendrías un diccionario contigo. ¿Por qué? Como dice el lingüista británico David A. Wilkins, sin gramática se puede transmitir muy poco. Sin vocabulario no se puede transmitir nada. De hecho, el vocabulario es la habilidad o el aspecto más importante en la enseñanza o el aprendizaje de una lengua extranjera. Durante bastante tiempo en el pasado, ha sido una clave tan ignorada y subestimada para tener una comunicación efectiva y significativa. Buenos días a todos ustedes. Es realmente un placer estar aquí hoy con ustedes. Pero antes de nada, me gustaría agradecer a los organizadores de este webinar por ofrecer con éxito esta oportunidad para todos nosotros de mejorar nuestro aprendizaje en un idioma extranjero, específicamente español. Y en esta nota, permítanme agradecer a todos por haberme elegido como uno de los ponentes de este webinar. Entonces, en este webinar web, voy a discutir sobre estrategias y actividades para enseñar vocabulario en el aula de idiomas extranjeros, con el objetivo de hacer que la enseñanza y el aprendizaje sean más simples y agradables para nuestros estudiantes. Ok, so para hoy vamos a discutir sobre el vocabulario en nuestra clase de ELE. Why is vocabulary important in teaching Spanish? Or ¿por qué es importante el vocabulario en la enseñanza del español? Aprender palabras y frases en español es importante, ya que las palabras y frases son importantes, ya que gramática por sí no sola no te enseñará cómo usan el idioma los 548.3 millones de hispanohablantes en todo el mundo. La enseñanza explícita de vocabulario permite a los alumnos acceder y al discurso de textos cada vez más complejas. How does vocabulary help our ELE students? O cómo ayuda el vocabulario a los estudiantes ELE. Saber vocabulario es la clave para la comprensión lectora. Cuantas más sepa un alumno, mejor comprenderá de métodos de enseñanza efectivos, aumentará la capacidad del estudiante para aprender nuevas palabras. We will also discuss here about the importance of vocabulary or importancia del vocabulario. Primera, el vocabulario es la base del lenguaje. In a nutshell, vocabulary is important because it is the basics or the basis of all language. It is the raw building blocks that we can use to express our thoughts and ideas, share information, understand others, and grow personal relations. Segunda, encontrarse en el vocabulario es útil para desarrollar conocimientos y habilidades en múltiples aspectos de lengua y la lectoescritura. When we say basic literacy skills, we refer, of course, to the different macro skills that we really have to develop towards our students, particularly to our Spanish students. And that we are referring to the listening, the speaking, reading, writing, and also viewing. Tercera importancia de vocabulario, aumenta la posibilidad de un mejor rendimiento académico y la confianza en la comunicación de un alumno. In here, the more words a student knows, the more effectively they read, and the more effectively they learn. Whatever the subject is, may it be English, may it be Spanish, may it be mathematics, and etc. Vocabulary is so influential. In fact, the educational psychology pioneers identified it as the single greatest indicator of overall intelligence. And so we teachers, Spanish teachers, should know this. So how can vocabulary improve the communication of ELE students? Tener un amplio vocabulario le permite decir lo mismo en una variedad de formas diferentes. This simply means that a larger vocabulary can be a stepping stone to our ELE students to higher levels of language fluency. It also means that the more words they know in any language, the better they can express themselves. So we Spanish teachers should refresh about the different strategies, tools, and activities in teaching vocabulary. Now I shall be sharing with you strategies and activities for teaching vocabulary. And I'll start with one of the most recognized ways to integrate vocabulary in the classroom. We call it word wall or muro de palabras. ¿Qué es el muro de palabras? El muro de palabras es excelente para ayudar a los estudiantes con el reconocimiento de las letras y sonidos. What's the purpose of this word wall? The main purpose of a word wall is to use it as a scaffold to help ELE students to develop their sight words and word identification of knowledge. How do we teach vocabulary using word wall? First, we have to make words accessible by putting them where every student could see them, where every student could touch them. They should be written in large black letters using variety of background colors to determine easily confusing words. Next, don't forget to categorize the words. Why should we categorize the words? So that the students could just add every day additional word to each category. Okay? So, if you notice here the example, we have here, escuchar, escribir, caer, oler. What are these groups? These are all verbs. The other one, burro, boton, and boca. What are these words? These words start with letter B, and so on. I'll be showing also a word wall in my classroom in Cagayan National High School, which we did with my grade 7 students. So, this is a word wall for Los Alfabetos. And before, we only have 2 words in each alphabets. And then my students just added another word in each category. So, my students really enjoy reading the word wall that we discussed. So we have here letter X, letter Y, letter U, letter V, and then the rest there on the other side. The next one is flashcards, or what we call tarjetas didácticas. Las tarjetas didácticas son una poderosa herramienta que le puede ayudar a recordar información como significados de palabras, fórmulas, hechos históricos o la ortografía correcta de las palabras. Actually, these are strategically designed to enhance and encourage active recall. And when learning Spanish, they are specifically helpful to memorize words, vocabulary, verbs or verb tenses, definitions, phrases, and more. This tool makes the learning process easy and fun. So as Spanish teachers, we hope that each of us always has flashcards in our classroom. And we make sure that our flashcards are colorful in order to encourage our students to read the words that we created or we have written on it. So I have here flashcards for for verbs. So I have here aprender to learn, bailar to dance, pagar to pay, escribir to write, ir to go, and so forth and so on. So these are all verbs. I also have here cosas de cole. So I have here la mochila, el libro de, or el libro. We also have lapis and so forth. And then I also have here, it's written there, cosas de cole, otra vez, cinta, bolígrafo, and so forth and so on. And then I also have tarjetas didácticas para frutas. So I have here uvas. I hope you can see plátano, tomate, limon, and so forth. So how do we teach flashcards to our students? In my class, first I would show them the picture and then I would label it. Okay, I would label all the pictures. Then I would ask them to read. Then I would even ask them to pronounce it well, of course, to deletrear también, or to spell it. And then after that, I would be showing them tarjetas didácticas without the name. In that way, I could measure if they have learned something or if they have memorized some of the words. So I have here, for example, pollo, it is labeled, but I have another picture without the label. Okay, this one no label, but I have a picture there, Rana, with label, and this one without label. So that's one way to teach vocabulary, or to teach vocabulary using flashcards. Next, we have sentence use o uso de oraciones. As teachers, we have to require our students to use given vocabulary word in a sentence, and that's very important. First, they must understand the meaning of the word. Then they must apply that knowledge in real life situation, and then they have to use that or those words in sentences. Por ejemplo, if our topic is about la naturaleza or about nature, we have to unlock some words like arbol, like el mar, or el rio. So we have to ask our students to use those words in sentences. So our students would say, el agua del mar es salada. Or, en el bosque hay muchos árboles. Or, we can also ask our students to use el río. And our students would say, el río lleva mucho agua este año. So it's very important that we let our students use those words in sentences. It's not just enough that they know the word, that they know the meaning. It's very, very important that they can use those words in their own sentences, and later they can construct paragraph or stories using the vocabulary that they have learned from us. Next, increased reading o aumento de lectura. Increased reading is always a good thing. The more students read, the more vocabulary they are going to develop. They learn the meaning of words by the way they are used in the sentence. In short, it is much easier to learn vocabulary from a book than memorizing words in the dictionary. That is because you're learning the words contextually. The words make sense within the context of what you're doing, so it makes it easier to remember later. In our school, I conducted an action research titled Improving Language Competency on Verb Conjugation Using STREET, or STREET means Story Reading Enhancement Tool. During their vacant time, I would give them short stories in which I would ask them to conjugate at least 10 verbs in each story. After giving them more than 20 stories to read, I gave them a pause test. The analysis of my study revealed that story reading strategy had a large effect on the learning of the students on verb conjugation. So indeed, reading plays an important role in learning vocabulary. In our school, Cagayan National High School, we have what we call Spanish Nook. It is here where many reading materials can be read by the students. We have different reading materials, as I have said, like books about los mejores lugares turísticos en España. We have also las estaciones, or the different estaciones in España. We have also bookmarks. Yes, bookmarks, wherein some sayings or words are written there. We also have in our school autobiography of Enrique Iglesias. And we also have a school paper in our school produced by my Spanish students. And it's entitled La Antorcha. And the other one is El Mensajero. And then I also authored a book entitled El Apoyo, and my students, particularly my grade 7 students, enjoy reading the book during their vacant time. Next, we have semantic map or mapa semántico. Se utilizan como visualizaciones visuales de palabras clave. La idea de los mapas semánticos es proporcionar una conexión significativa con las palabras clave y los otros conjuntos de palabras y conceptos relacionados. Semantic maps help students' vocabulary and reading comprehension. Teachers can add more challenging words each week. As students grow their vocabulary, they'll become confident in their reading and writing activities. How do we do this as teachers? Select one student to draw keyword on the chalkboard. Next, encourage the students to participate in creating the map and write words that are connected to the keyword. For example, a keyword that a teacher or a student will write on the board is granja or farm. So do expect that the students would take turns writing different words connected to the word granja. For instance, caballo, vaca, arbol, and many others. In my grade 10 students, since our topic for the first quarter is about familia, paragraph about familia, so I asked one student to write the word familia on the board, and I encouraged other students to write words that are associated or connected with that word familia. And so if you can see there, my students wrote many words there like padres, madre, vecinos, abuelo, abuela, and many others. So that's how we make it. Next, we have boceto anotado, or what we call sketch notes. Son ricas notas visuales creadas a partir de una mezcla de escritura a mano y dibujos. It is defined as creative, individualized note-taking that uses a mix of linguistic and non-linguistic representation, aka, words, and pictures together. What is the purpose of sketch notes? Actually, sketch notes allow students to respond to complex new ideas by engaging multiple parts of the brain simultaneously to deepen learning and retention. We have here example of sketch notes. So we have here material de oficina. So students would draw carpeta, would draw bolígrafo, notebooks, and others. We also have here clima. So the student drew la lluvia, la nieva, isol, temperatura, and others. And then for palabras preguntas, so students would write quién, qué, cuándo, por qué, dónde, and cómo. Under cuándo, if you notice, the student drew a cake because maybe that's his own perspective. It's his birthday, so cuándo. And then for quién, he drew people, okay? And then for dónde, the student drew a beach, I think, and others. So that's it about sketch notes. Next, we have context clues or pistas de contexto. As Spanish teachers, we have to teach our students to make use of context clues when new words appear in the paragraph or in the sentences that they read. Other words or phrases may provide significant hints to teach word parts which include prefix. Let's see the example given here. Okay, so we have here the sentence. Ese año realizó el primer vuelo supersónico. Hasta ese momento, nadie había volado más rápido que el sonido. In here, we're going to look for the meaning of supersónico, and we have the clue there, super. And so supersónico means más rápido que el sonido. That is on the parts of the word. Part of the word, partes de las palabras. Super significa por encima de. And sónico es la raíz de sonido. So that's it. Supersónico significa más rápido que el sonido. We have another example here for synonymous. Mama dice aviador porque quiero ser piloto. I repeat, Mama dice aviador porque quiero ser piloto. In here, aviador has the same meaning with piloto. We also have antónimos. Sandra pensaba que el insecto era repulsivo, pero a mí me parecía hermoso. In here, the hint or the clue that gives that the words are antonyms is the word pero. Pero, repulsivo, pero hermoso. So, repulsivo means feo. We have to be very careful also because there are two other types of clues in Spanish that are two other types of clues in Spanish are the accent marks and the articles definite or indefinite. Classic example are la papa, the potato. La papa, no accent mark and it's feminine article. We use the word la. And then we have el papa. El papa, it means the dad. Accent mark, there is an accent mark there, encima de la letra A, and it's masculine article. And then we have el papa, the pope, no accent mark, and it's masculine article. Next, we have formas de presentar vocabulario, or ways to present vocabulary. The first one is pictures or photos. This is one way or very essential way to present vocabulary. Using pictures in teaching vocabulary is an appropriate technique to apply in class because they can draw students' interest and arouse their motivation in the teaching learning process more effective. So that if our lesson is about professions or profesiones, then we can just show them profesiones como camarero, médico, bailarina, also cantante, and so forth. The next one is realia. Realia means to bring real objects to the classroom. It can make the learning experience more memorable and create connections between objects and vocabulary words or other language concepts. Translations and definitions is the solution when you have problem with time constraints or with words that you cannot find the pictures or words that you cannot use realia, or when you really do not have any other solution and you really need learners to know the word and probably you have no time anymore, then you can resort to translations. We have games and brain shakers. Spanish learning games can help students learn and master Spanish language faster and improve overall comprehension. Games enhance traditional learning methods and make mastering a new language like Spanish fun and exciting for learners. We have examples of games here that we can use in our classrooms, and I know most of us have been using these games. Okay, so we have a Spanish crossword. This is usually done in our grade 7, most especially if our lesson is about los números. And then we also have the very exciting one, which is my favorite, los dados. So in here, the students may say it in English, may say the word in English. The students may use it in a sentence, act it out, spell it, or draw it. Okay, this is very, very exciting, most especially if our topic is about conjugation of verbs. And then we also have matching game. This is also very exciting activity inside our classroom. And then we also have the last one, which is spin the wheel. El aprendizaje es experiencia, todo lo demás es información. Learning is experience, everything else is information. Muchísimas gracias a todos. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something from what I have discussed. God bless us all. Spanish learning games can help students learn and master Spanish language faster and improve overall comprehension. Games enhance traditional learning methods and make mastering a new language like Spanish fun and exciting for learners. We have examples of games here that we can use in our classrooms, and I know most of us have been using these games. Okay, so we have Spanish crossword. This is usually done in our grade 7, most especially if our lesson is about los números. And then we also have the very exciting one, which is my favorite, los dados. So in here, the students may say it in English, may say the word in English. The students may use it in a sentence, act it out, spell it, or draw it. Okay, this is very, very exciting, most especially if our topic is about conjugation of verbs. And then we also have matching game. This is also very exciting activity inside our classroom. And then we also have the last one, which is spin the wheel. El aprendizaje es experiencia, todo lo demás es información. Learning is experience, everything else is information. Muchísimas gracias a todos. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something from what I have discussed. God bless us all.
Muchísimas gracias, Gloria. Muchísimas gracias por este seminario muy completo sobre el trabajo que realizáis en vuestra escuela, en Tuguegarao, y el tipo de actividades, ¿no? Que además ha sido muy completo, desde las flashcards, vídeos y otro tipo de actividades. La verdad es que very enlightening. Dear participants, now you have the link there to sign for the participation in this seminar, and the Q&A is open. So if you have any questions for Ma'am Gloria, Dr. Marcos, please. Yeah, because she just got her PhD recently, and she has recently published a book called El Apoyo. So yes, if you want to know more about it, please ask her or later on. Really good book, really well done. Bien, Gloria, here you have a question. Do you allow your students to use Google Translate? Is Leah Buhain the one who asked this question?
Buenos días a todos. Well, for me, I allow my students to use the Google Translate. That is most especially if it is for their assignment. That's all right, because it's one way for them to really learn the words, the vocabulary. That's all right. In my case.
Muy bien, muchas gracias, Gloria. Tengo otra pregunta. María Celia Atok nos pregunta que ¿cuántos estudiantes tienes en el grado 7?
Tengo 24 estudiantes en grado 7, pero en mi grado 10 y grado 9 tengo 45 y 46.
Vale, Gloria, ¿puedes explicar un poquito, muy rápidamente, lo que es el grado 7 y el grado 10 para los compañeros que nos sigan desde España, que a lo mejor no conocen? How old are the kids in grade 7 and how old are they in grade 10?
For my grade 7, tienen 13 años. Y en mi grado 10, 16 hasta 17, señor.
Muy bien, muchas gracias. Es lo que sería la secundaria filipina. Bien, y ya la última pregunta, porque hemos comenzado un poquillo tarde. Gloria nos pregunta, what are your references for storytelling?
I have many books here. The one that I photocopied when I was still in Cervantes, Instituto Cervantes. I really borrowed many books from our librarian, como El Sol. También tengo Prisma book and many others.
Muy bien, muchísimas gracias. Again, it's good for all you participants because there are also other Other participants suggesting activities that you can do. For example, Troy was asking the use of, he was suggesting the use of Duolingo. So I also
Yes.
recommend you to interact in the chat, because maybe there you can also get good information on how to teach vocabulary in your classes. Bueno, Gloria, muchísimas gracias.
Yeah,
Gracias por-
Senior, I'm also going to do the other one. I'm also using the Duolingo. Actually, my students really enjoy that. I've been using that for so many years. I think I have started telling my students to use Duolingo way back 2011 when I have started teaching Spanish already. And then as regards the books, I have many books here. And then just last September 15, I bought also books in MOA when I had the launching of my El Apoyo book. I think this is my chance to tell this book, El Apoyo, it's entitled El Apoyo because it is a big help to students, a big help to my co-teachers, and anyone who wishes to learn Spanish. And this is really based on the most essential learning competencies from first quarter to fourth quarter. So that's it. Thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias, señor.
Nada, muchísimas gracias a ti, Gloria. Preguntan how to avail the book.
This is available in SMOA. It started last September 15. You can just go there and have this book. And then for those who wish to really have it, I can just send to them, provided that they will give me their exact address.
Muy bien, enhorabuena, Gloria, muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias por contarnos, compartir tu experiencia en tu colegio, por enseñarnos tu libro y por tener este tipo de iniciativas desde una profesora filipina que entiende el contexto filipino y cómo se enseñan las lenguas en el país. Muchas gracias. Tenemos ahora un breve descanso y comenzamos con el siguiente seminario. Gracias a todos.
Gracias, muchísimas gracias.